हरि ओम। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Uncle, I'm not able to hear you. Louder pesunga.
समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम्
Thank you.
नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Before Lalita starts Gopika Geetam, we will observe for a minute silence for Shashikala because she belongs to the group. She is in this group. So she passed away 2 days back, heart attack. She being one of our members, we will pray for her Shanti. Silent prayer. Lalita, you can do.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jayati Tedikam Krishna Janmana Vraja Shrayata Indira Krishna Shashwadatrahi Daita Drishyatam Krishna Dikshutavaka Tvaidhritastavan Krishna Tan Tvam Vichinvate Sharadudashaye Krishna Sadhu Jatasa Sarasi Jodara Krishna Shri Mushadrasha Surathanate Krishna Shulkadasika Varadhanignato Krishna Neha Kimvadaha Vishajalapyayat Krishna Vyalarakshasat Varashamarutat Krishna Vaidyuntanalat Vrishamayatmaja Krishna Vishvato Bhayat Rishabhate Vayam Krishna Rakshika Muhu Nakhalu Gopika Krishna Nandano Bhavan Akhila Dehi Nam Krishna Antaratmadrik Vikhana Sarthito Krishna Vishwaguptaye Sakha Udevan Krishna Satpatam Kule Virachita Bhayam Krishna Vrishni Duryate Charanamiyusham Krishna Samskritir Bhayat Karasaroruham Krishna Kanta Kamadam Shirasi Dehina Krishna Shri Karagraham Prajajanatihan Krishna Virayoshitam Nijajanasmaya Krishna Dvamsana स्मित भज सके भया भवात् कृष्णा किंकरी स्मनो जलरुहाननां कृष्णा चारुदर्शय प्रणत देहिनां कृष्णा पापकर्षणं तृणचरानुगं कृष्णा श्रीनिकेतनम् फणिफणार्तितं कृष्णा ते पदाम्बुजं कृणु कुशेचुन कृष्णा कृन्दिहृच्छयम् मधुरया गिरा कृष्णा वल्गुवाक्यया बुधमनोज्ञया कृष्णा पुष्करे क्षण विधिकरीरिमा कृष्णा वीरमुह्यति अधरसीधुना कृष्णा अप्ययस्वन तव आप्ययस्वन तव कथामृतं कृष्णा तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कृष्णा कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं कृष्णा श्रीमदाततं भ्रुवि भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते कृष्णा भूरिदा जनाः.
Mandukya Upanishad. Hello. Who is that? Please put off your
Please mute yourselves.
mute your phone. Somebody is talking. Please mute all your phones. Okay. See, Mandukya Upanishad very logically says, and it's proved by Gaudapada's Karika, that the waking world has only that much reality of the dream world. Both are not different. They take point by point and discuss. For example, how can there be space?
Uncle, your voice is low. Could you please speak a bit louder?
Pardon?
Your voice is low.
Okay.
Please speak a bit louder.
Yeah. Okay. Now is okay. There's
No
some
uncle, இன்னைக்கு கொஞ்சம் ரொம்பவே feeble-ஆ இருக்கு volume.
There's some problem today. Yeah. Let us see.
When a mic கிட்டக்க வச்சுக்கோங்க, maybe it may improve.
Let us see. I think there is some problem. Signal is weak. Does it have anything?
No uncle, signal weak should not actually audio it should not affect audio.
I think uncle is frozen.
Uncle, now you're frozen.
Is it all right?
I think we'll manage with this uncle today.
Emma? No, but are you able to hear something?
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
You are
Okay.
uncle.
We can
It's
hear.
a bit low, but okay, we'll manage.
We can hear you, uncle.
Yeah, because if you can't hear, no point in wasting your time. Please tell me without hesitation. If you can't hear at all, if you can hear with little difficulty, it's okay. Are you able
We
to
can hear. We can hear. We can hear.
Right. So, you see, the whole Mandikopanishad proves point by point how this world is only as much real as the dream world. Then the objection is raised. In the dream world, there is no space for so much to be there, and therefore it is not real. But in waking world, we see everything there. They are accommodated. There is larger space. That point is answered. Those answers we will see later, but I'm telling you point by point how everything is treated. Then they said, in the dream world, if you are hungry, you can't eat the food in the fridge. Now, waking world, you can eat the food in the fridge. So that is real. The counter argument, in the dream world, you cannot eat the waking world's food. Position is same. Dream food you cannot eat in the waking. Waking food you cannot eat in the dream. There is no difference. Are you able to understand, please? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes, we can
Yes, I can
Uncle.
hear you, uncle.
Yes, uncle, we can hear you.
ask whether we can understand.
Right. Okay. So the dream world is only as much real as the waking world. There is no difference. Our waking world is the dream of Narayana. Why this is important? If the world itself is not real, all our problems, sorrows, birth, death, all of them are not real. That is the solution. Yet we are suffering. This simple answer cannot solve it. Gurudev gave a beautiful analogy once when he was doing Mundakopanishad in Chennai. There was a rich princely lady in UP. She had a psychological problem. She felt she has headache and no doctor is able to cure. And she said, no doctor is able to cure. Finally, Swamiji's own words, an young smart South Indian doctor went. An young smart South Indian doctor went. And she said, I have this headache, nobody is able to cure. He said, I have no problem, I will cure you. But there is a medicine available only in London. So I will prescribe it and I will ask my friend to send it. He will send it 40 days, early morning, before you take breakfast. Early morning before you take breakfast, 40 days without missing you must take. You will be cured. So this man wrote to his friend, here is a psychology problem. She feels she has headache, nobody is able to cure. And now I have given her a big story. She will think I am intelligent and I will cure. So send a bottle of water as medicine from London by courier. So he sends, and this man gives that lady, this is a special medicine from London. Every day you must take 40 days. You keep me informed every week whether there is improvement. This lady was taking, and every week she felt there is improvement. She told the doctor, at the 40 After the 40 days, he said, "Doctor, my headache is gone. My headache is gone." Very intelligent young doctor. That's what she said. What is the moral of this? The moral is, even if the problem is not real, if it is only imaginary, you need an imaginary solution. You need an imaginary solution. So also, even if creation is not real, you and I are suffering. So we need an imaginary solution. What is the imaginary solution? The solution is, now you have, in self-forgetfulness, because you are not aware of the truth, you are seeing the world that is not there. When you don't see a rope in dark, you will see a snake. How do you dream? Because you have forgotten your waking stature, therefore you dream. Similarly, we have forgotten our godhood, therefore we are dreaming this waking world. Now what to do? What is this waking world? We have projected all images on this consciousness, God and self. We have projected all images through our thoughts on this consciousness or God. Now, if you have to remove them, you project counter thoughts. You project counter thoughts. When originally this consciousness was concealed by your projection of thoughts, that is called superimposition. Now, when you are consciously introducing new thoughts to displace the old thoughts, this is called upasana. Same thing. Both are superimpositions. But one superimposition removes the other. Like when you take a stone and call it Ganesha, you see only Ganesha, and Ganesha responds also. Responds also. What is that? You have superimposed on a stone Ganesha. You have superimposed on a stone Ganesha. That works. That works. That is called upasana. Now, what have you to do to get rid of this maya, to get rid of this ignorance, to get rid of this misapprehension caused by non-apprehension? What do you do? Superimpose some thoughts of God, God stories, thinking about God. That is called Bhagavatam. That is called Bhagavatam, where you superimpose thoughts of God with thoughts of world. So this Bhagavatam has first been given to Brahmaji by Vishnu in his own heart. Means Brahmaji did tapas, then he intuitively heard these things from his heart. This is how all our knowledge takes place. Continuously thinking, you will get answers in your own heart. Gurudev gives another beautiful example. When apple fell on Newton, he did not immediately get the gravitational force. 26 years, he was continuously thinking, passionately, that is, head and heart got integrated, continuously thinking. Suddenly the answer came from his heart. This is gravitational force. That is how all answers come. So when Brahmaji was contemplating how to create and did tapas, then he got the answer from within, as though Narayana talked to him in 4 verses, the seed verses of Bhagavatam. That's called Chatusloki. That's called Chatusloki. First, Narayana gave it to Brahmaji as 4 verses. He gave it to Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara gave it to Narada. Narada gave it to Vyasa. Vyasa gave it to Shuka. Shuka gave it to Parikshit. Suta overheard it. Suta gives it to Shravanaka. Now it is 18,000 verses. Right? This is how all rumors develop. This is how all rumors develop. 4 to 18,000. So that Chatusloki is, God says, I alone was there, nothing else was there. And then, how did this world come? Rute Artham, even without substance, my power makes it appear, like your dream. That's called Maya. Asad Bhana Matram. There is no reality, there is no product, but you experience. How did that happen? Just as mud, when it becomes a pot, appears mud has entered into the pot shape. There is no entering. Similarly, this world of names and forms seem to gather their shapes and names and all that as though I have entered into them. As though I have entered into them, as though elements have entered into them, 5 elements. The 5 elements have not entered into this world. But it appears like the mud as though entered into the pot. The 5 elements did not enter because the mud was pot. This 5 elements, which is nothing but Narayana, these 5 elements, which is nothing but Narayana, is the world. There is no entering. How do you know that? Anvaya Vyatireka Nyaya. What is Anvaya Vyatireka Nyaya? That which is there in all conditions is true. That which comes and goes is not true. I, the waker, is the same one who dreamt. The dreamer is the same one who slept, because I remember my waking state, I remember my dream state, I remember my deep sleep state. I should have been the same one who experienced, because Gurudev says experiencer and rememberer should be same. Therefore, I am constant. Without me, those experiences not possible. Without them, I can be dead. Without me, they cannot be. Without them, I can be there. That is, when I am there, they are there, Anvaya. Even when they are not there, I am there is Vyatireka. It's called Vyatireka. This is the way you have to ascertain the truth. This is the way you have to ascertain the truth. That is Chatusloki. Now, having said that, now he said the solution is Bhagavatam. What is the contents of Bhagavatam is the next subject matter. What is the content of Bhagavatam is the next subject matter. Those who have books, 10th chapter of the 2nd skanda, first verse. Atra sarga visargascha dhanam poshanam bhutayaha manvantara ishanukatha nirodho muktihi ashrayaha. There are 10 topics in Bhagavatam. Sarga, creation. Visarga, a different type of creation. Sthanam, the status, the position. Poshanam, God's grace. Bhutayaha, Vasanas. Manvantara, the stories of Manu. Ishanukada, the stories of all the great Ikshvaku kings, etc. Nirodha, cessation of the avatar. Muktihi, liberation. Ashrayaha, where everything rests. These are the 10 topics. We will be dealing each one by one. Now, what is Sarga? What is Visarga? What is creation? What is a different creation? Creation is, originally there were 16 elements. Bhagavan created. Please remember, don't mechanically repeat what I am saying, because I will be contradicting myself. If you are not attentive, you will take my false statement as true. I myself will be contradicting, right? So, Bhagavan created 16 elements, and that was creation. Then what Brahmaji did with the 16 is called Visarga. Original creation is done by God with 16 aspects. Brahmaji modified them with the intervention of gunas, and that creation is called the secondary creation. That is called Visarga. First creation is called Sarga. What is the first creation? Bhuta, 5 elements. Matra, the sense, hearing, speaking, seeing, tasting, touch, the sense stimuli. Indriya, the sense organs. 15. Diya, intellect. Janma Sarga Udahutaha. These 16 manifestations. Again, Bhuta, 5 elements. Matra, 5 sense stimuli. Indriya, 5 sense organs. Diya, intellect. Together is Sarga. Now, then what is Visarga? Brahmano Guna Vaishamyat Visargaha. Brahman, with the help of gunas, multiplied into this various manifold world of names and forms. That is called Visarga. The second aspect will not have a problem for you. Bhagavan created this, then Brahmaji added gunas, and with that multiplicity, you may accept. But the first thing, if you had thought about it, where from God created this 16? Because He alone is there. There is no other raw material. Because to create anything, you need raw material. He alone is there. There is no time, there is no space. Because He is infinite, how did He create? Did He really create the 16? Like, because 16 were created, Brahmaji did. Now, some close friend of you comes, who is used to your house regularly. You are sitting in the hall talking to somebody. You tell that friend, kitchen, you go to the kitchen, there is milk, decoction, sugar, and all that. You mix and bring coffee for all of us. Right? So, sugar was there, milk was there, decoction was there, tumbler was there. She mixed and brought coffee. Is it like that? The 16 were there, and then Brahmaji mixed? No. Then how? When the potter makes a pot, the form was there in that mud. When the potter made a pot, the size was there in the mud. When the potter made the pot, the height, the length, the depth were there in the mud. When the potter made the pot, there was potential space to accommodate things. So originally in the pot where the form, the height, the width, the depth, the space, all they were there in the mud. The potter, with the instrument of that wheel, with his own hands, from that created the pot. The first elements, form, height, width, depth, space, all these were there in the pot. They were brought out and made into a pot by the potter. Now you see the difference of things originally there and creation. Like it's not like mixing up decoction, sugar, milk and making coffee. They are inbuilt in that very vastu. They are there. Somebody has to only bring it out. Same thing, all these were there potentially in God. Brahma tapped them, used the gunas and brought the manifest world. I will stop for 1 minute for all of you to think and ask me questions if you have a doubt, because an important point of creation. If you don't understand, you ask me. Okay. So that is Sarga, that is Visarga. The Sarga starts with the 3rd chapter. Visarga starts 3rd skanda. Visarga starts with the 4th skanda. Then what happened to 1st skanda, 2nd skanda? 1st skanda is Adhikari, where Parikshit becomes a student of Shuka. Under what conditions? What is the background? That is the 1st skanda. 2nd skanda means sadhana also plus the subject matter Vishaya. Sadhana is given in the very 1st and 2nd chapter, dharana and dhyana. 3rd also prayers, 4th also prayers. And then Vishaya is given in the 7th chapter of the 2nd skanda. And then Chatusloki. Therefore, 2nd skanda has both sadhana and Vishaya. 3rd skanda starts with Sarga. 4th skanda starts as Visarga. Now what is the 5th? Sthitihi Vaikunta Vijaya. Sthiti, position, is where the Lord Narayana resides. Where? Everywhere. 5th chapter deals with this so beautifully. 5th chapter describes us the various continents, how they were formed, and the various planetary systems, the various rivers, describes elaborately. In fact, a student of Bhagavata will feel fed up with the 5th skanda because he is wanting only stories. This is too dry a subject. But he concludes, that's the best part. He says, through this gross meditation of rivers, to see Narayana in all these places, islands, and continents, etc., etc. Whenever mind has expanded, you will be able to meditate in the subtle form of Narayana. What a beautiful way. I have deliberately given you all that so that your mind has dharana in the gross form of Narayana, so that it gets prepared for subtle meditation. That is the 5th skanda. That is the 5th skanda. 6th skanda, Poshana, Anugraha. What is Anugraha? Ajamila. Nobody can go down, degrade more than Ajamila. Nobody can degrade himself than Ajamila. For him, God sent his own, attendants and saved him from death. Similarly, Rudrasura was a Rakshasa. Rudrasura. He has been blessed and he gets moksha. This Rudrasura, who was killed by Indra, before killing, seeing the magnanimity and devotion of Rudrasura, Indra praises him. What a fortunate man you are. How did you get this state of mind? The enemy praises him and he is liberated. Therefore, in 6th skanda, two people who are in the extreme side of negative life have been blessed by God. Then the 7th skanda, Bhutayaha means vasanas. What are vasanas? Hiranyakashipu is born to Brahmin father and Brahmin mother, Kashyapa and Diti. Kashyapa and Diti. That one who is born to Brahmin parents have become a Rakshasa. Prahlada became born to a Rakshasa, became a great Vishnu Bhakta. These are the vasanas. These are the vasanas. That is 7th skanda. 8th skanda, Manvantara, stories of Manu, but this is the skanda which helps us to surrender. All stories in 8th skanda are surrendering. First starts with Gajendra surrendering. Next starts Amritamadhan, Deva surrendering. Last is Bali surrendering. This is the 8th skanda. 9th skanda, all the Ikshvakuvansa Rajas and Sri Ramachandra's story also is given in the 9th skanda. 10th skanda is our Krishna Leelas, and it says here the 9 skandas were given to you, though you were cursing Vyasa, you were cursing the speaker. Boring. I never thought Bhagavatam is like this. It's boring. 5 days, 6 days. Boring. You will curse me, you will curse Vyasa. But why did he give? He says, I prepare your mind to be fit enough to enjoy the birth of Krishna in your heart. Your mind is prepared to receive Krishna in your heart through these 9 skandhas. What a beautiful way. He gives a technique and he explains the technique also. How much love. He everywhere. This is not one place. In Bhagavata, several places, he gives a technique and explains the technique also. These are the 10 topics. That's a Rakshanas. It's called in the Bhagavata, which comes in the last chapter of the 2nd skanda. Then comes the 3rd skanda. As I said, 3rd skanda is of creation. Is of creation. Now, please listen to some interesting facts. Please listen to some interesting facts. We are talking about creation. Bhagavan also says, I have taken avatar. In the 4th chapter Gita, he says, I have taken avatar. In the 4th chapter Gita, Bahune me vyatitani janmani tavacha Arjuna. I had lot of lives, the births, and you also had lot of births. So Bhagavan says he is born. Bhagavan says he is born. And Arjuna was also born. Right? And we have been telling all along, Bhagavan being infinite, very creation itself is not there. Bhagavan being infinite, very creation itself, he himself says, I am born. And then what does he say in the same fourth chapter? Janma karma cha me divyam. Yo veti tattvataha tektva janma. Janma karma cha me divyam yo veti tattvataha tektva deham punaha. Anyway, having cast off this body, he doesn't again take a body. Who janma karma cha me divyam yo veti tattvataha tyakva deham punarjanma na yeti mam yeti saha Arjuna. One who knows this janma of mine, this karma of mine, in essence, in reality, having cast off this body, he will not take again this helpless, miserable human birth. He will come to me. He will come to me. Very difficult concept. He says he has no birth. He says he is born many times. And he says he who knows. And he says who knows the secret of his birth and death will not be born again. Why? If he knows the secret of birth and death, he will know there is neither birth nor death, neither action. None of them are really there because there is no action possible in Bhagavan. Because for any action to take place, there should be time, there should be space, there should be parts. In Bhagavan, there is no time, there is no space, there are no parts, so no action can take place. But all stories talk about his action. So he tells Arjuna, he doesn't explain much there in the fourth chapter because it is subtle at that position. He who knows, in essence, my birth and my karma will not be born again. Why? Who can know in essence? Only who has known that Bhagavan's real nature, the consciousness, and known that no real birth is not possible, not real karma is possible. So that person who knows this should have become the consciousness, should have become God, therefore no birth. Right? Therefore, no birth. So that is what Bhagavan said. Now, what I said were full of contradictions. We are talking about Janma and Karma of Bhagavan, and we say there is no Janma and Karma of Bhagavan. And not only Bhagavan, ours also. Right? What is the problem? Why Bhagavan doesn't have? Janma karma cha vishvatman ajasyam akartu atmanaha nrusishu tiryan nrusishu yadahasu tatyadanta vidambanam. This is a great joke. Vidambanam means it's falsification. It's an illusion. It's a delusion that Bhagavan was born in all the forms of Tiryan animals, Nrusu, human beings, Yadaha in water, they lives in the water like fish and crocodiles, etc. And action, to think that Bhagavan is doing creation, maintaining and dissolution and all stories, this is an illusion, Bhagavata says. Right? Now, please see a few things. Janma and karma for Bhagavan not possible because he is infinite, he is there everywhere, he cannot be born. Karma is also not possible, there is no space. But it is said there. It's a paradox. It's a paradox. We have been told of Bhagavan's Janma and Karma, and we've been told there is no Janma and Karma for Bhagavan. Is it not a paradox? Similarly, Dharma is said to be the main ingredient to lead to moksha. And then Bhagavan says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Cha. Leave off all dharmas and come to me. Paradox. Jnana, knowledge. The real knowledge is knowledge of Bhagavan, because nobody can give you knowledge of Bhagavan. It has to be experience. What is given to you is what is ajnana. What is not knowledge. That has been removed. The ajnana in you has been removed. Jnana reveals itself. Ajnana has been removed. Jnana reveals itself. So we say jnana is given. What is given is the removal of ajnana. Again, something to be thought about. Vairagya, dispassion. What is dispassion? Not to have attachment to anything. What is that essentially? How is it possible? To have attachment to God, then only that is possible. To have attachment to God, then only that is possible. That's again a paradox, right? Sukha, happiness. And Gita says, all the sukha that you enjoy is nothing but womb of sorrow, dukkha yonayaha, our experience also. Nothing that doesn't give you sorrow is sukha. Only that gives you sorrow is sukha. Or what is dukkha is only that for which you had a value. You won't have a dukkha for something for which you have no value. Right? Again a paradox. Why am I telling all paradoxes? When you try to resolve these paradoxes in your contemplation, you will see the truth. When you try to resolve all the paradoxes in your contemplation, you will see the truth. Why paradoxes? Because all of us are a mixture of truth and untruth. Therefore, it's a mixture. Truth and untruth. Therefore, paradoxes. One standpoint from the truth, another standpoint from the names and forms. Right? So the whole third chapter is talking about various creations. Why? To say that there is no creation. This is the beauty. In all the Shastras, Upanishads and Bhagavata, they talk about Janma, creation, only to say there is no creation. They talk about Karma Kanda, rituals and Upasana, only to say there is karma cannot lead you there. Upasana also is only a temporary means. To dismiss karma, they talk about karma. To dismiss creation, they talk about creation. To dismiss dharma, they talk about dharma. Maybe very difficult for you to grasp and accept. But when you try to resolve these paradoxes for yourself, you will experience God. Then is the price too much? Is the price too much to resolve these paradoxes and feel the presence of God? Price is not too much. Okay. So you think over, if you have problems, if you're not being confused enough, you want more to be confused, you ring me up. Okay. So all creation has been explained in the third skanda, different stages, how first concepts and first various things needed for creation. Then they talk about atoms. Creation starts with atoms. One atom joins with the second, then Trayanu, three atoms join, and the time taken in their movement of joining is called time, and the movement is called space. Thus, time, space, atoms is creation. looks like modern kinetic physics, but that's what the left. You can refer 11th chapter of the 3rd skanda. 11th chapter of the 3rd skanda. Then he starts creation with death, ignorance. Why creation with death and ignorance? Creation is death and ignorance. God has to die. God has to die to become the world. No real death of God, no real creation of world. But you have to forget God, you have to become ignorant of God, and then only you can feel the world. Therefore, death, ignorance, tamisra, andha tamisra, with all these Brahmaji creates, he is not happy. Then he creates Sanat Kumaras, his own son. They were born yogis. He said, my job is to create. I have created you. Now you must multiply this creation. They said, Tata. Sanat Kumaras are born yogi. They said, Tata, and left. He got angry. As in that angry mood, he was thinking. Because he was thinking in the angry mood, Rudra was born. That's why we said pregnant women should hear. Because as they were moved, so the child will be born. Brahmaji was angry, so Rudra was born. And as soon as he was born, he said, give me Aadhaar card, give me Aadhaar card. What is Aadhaar card? Give me place to stay, give me a name. Give me place to stay, give me a name. Then Brahmaji did all that, and that after that, he said, this is won't useless. Some other experiments he did, all that one by one he negated. Then he said, I now should create through couples like the normal creation now we have, man and woman. So he created Manu and Shatarupa. They had children. One of them is Devahuti. He had 3 daughters, Ahuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Devahuti, he wanted to give to Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni was meditating to get the right wife because he was supposed to expand the creation. And in that meditation, Narayana comes and says, I myself will be born to you as Kapila Muni. So he marries Devahuti, and Bhagavan is born as Kapila Muni, who expounds the Sankhya Yoga of the Bhagavata to Devahuti. And this Kapila Muni's ashram is there near our Siddhabari. That very term is said in the 3rd chapter closing, that Siddhapada, instead of Siddhabari, it says Siddhapada was there, Kapila Muni. And that Kapila Muni gives all Vedanta to his mother Devahuti. I wanted to finish 4th skanda also today, but I am not able to even touch Kapila Gita. We can only do tomorrow. I do not know what to do. You are all such great people. I am inspired. So I am giving you all details. Why I am giving Narayana, Sadguru Maharaj is giving you all details. Therefore, I am not able to rush. So Kapila Gita, we will take tomorrow. Okay. Lalitamma Bhajan.
Girija will sing today, uncle.
Amma?
Girija will sing.
Okay. Are
Hari
we able
Om.
to hear all of you?
Hari Om.
Can hear, uncle.
Huh?
Yes.
Could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Girijamma Padungo.
Krishna Krishna Mukunda Janardana Krishna Govinda Narayana Hare Krishna Krishna Mukunda Janardana Krishna Govinda Narayana Hare Achyutananda Govinda Madhava Sachidananda Narayana Hare Achyutananda Govinda Madhava Sachidananda Narayana Hare Krishna Krishna Mukunda Janardana Krishna Govinda Narayana Hare कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Namaha Hari Om. I want your honest opinion. I, all of you may not be able to answer me, so I will ask Uma alone. Uma,